And welcome back to Hannity's America. The pro-abortion group Planned Parenthood has found a new way to get to young women and teenagers. Now, the organization is now sneaking into cities and towns under false identities. Ainsley Earhart, she reports.
On the outskirts of the Windy City in Aurora, Illinois, a new facility has thousands of people outraged. A scheme involving false permit applications paved the way for Planned Parenthood to build an abortion super clinic.
Here we have 5 different permit applications submitted by agents of Gemini Corporation. This first
Which is the name that Planned Parenthood was originally using when they built their facility.
Exactly.
While 4 of these applications were filed under Gemini Office Management, the most recent one stated the tenant was unknown. Many in the community now feel betrayed.
Even people who are not morally opposed to abortion are outraged that they're going to have an abortion facility in their town.
You can obviously see the protesters here standing on the sidewalk, considered public property. Planned Parenthood knew what they were doing when they built this huge facility in this shopping center area, because that's private property. So when the girls come in to go in the front entrance of the facility, they won't talk to the protesters. Chicago's head of Planned Parenthood claims the organization did nothing illegal and justifies their behavior.
We answered every question in this process honestly and truthfully, and we followed the letter of the law. We did, however, work hard to make sure that our opponents didn't find out.
An investigation is underway and local attorneys are crying foul.
It's quite a different story when you purposefully deceive city officials in going through the approval process. If you do that, it's known as fraud.
Aside from Aurora, Planned Parenthood is aggressively moving into other cities using the same tactics. Contractors in Texas uncovered the strategy after realizing that they were building an abortion clinic. They saw bulletproof windows and surgical recovery rooms and refused to complete the project. False permits are one of the latest problems to plague Planned Parenthood. Historically, the organization has been accused of failing to report known or suspected cases of incest, rape, and statutory rape. Hannity's America has obtained hundreds of recordings of phone calls made to Planned Parenthood by a girl posing as a 14-year-old victim of statutory rape. Each representative agreed to keep the information secret.
There is complete confidentiality. Nobody has to know. And if I were you, I wouldn't tell anybody that you're 14 and your boyfriend's 22.
If it gets into the court, they can get him on statutory rape. You're going to probably have to say you're not sure who the father is.
Secrecy appears to be a common theme at Planned Parenthood. No stranger to lawsuits, they have also been accused of performing procedures that led to cases of abuse, mutilation, and even death. We spoke to women who as teenagers had abortions at Planned Parenthood.
I was not informed of the procedure.
I cried so hard. Please, don't do this. I have changed my mind. And I remember him saying to me, shut up and stop moving.
According to Planned Parenthood's financial statements from last year, they received more than $305 million of your tax dollars and made more than $60 million in profit. Although slated as a not-for-profit organization, they operate like a typical business. It's all about the bottom line. Abortions cost between $350 and $700, and a woman can't get so much as a pregnancy test unless she pays.
He took the instruments that he had in his hands that were full of blood. He slammed them on the tray. He looked over at the woman that was in the room with me and said, this is a 13-14 gestation. We need more money.
Planned Parenthood claims to be a health clinic that provides counseling, advice, and parenting options to women. But opponents counter they're in the abortion business, focused on selling as many abortions as possible to increase their profit margins. We spoke to a former abortionist who shed some light on the industry.
Our goal in our abortion clinics was 3 to 5 abortions from every girl between the ages of 13 and 18. And we did that because if she started using abortion as a method of birth control, she would continue to use it through her life.
Using secrecy and deceit, Planned Parenthood is breaking into even the smallest communities around the country. Their next stop could be your backyard.
And joining us now is our own Ainsley Earhart. Ainsley, good to see you again.
Hey, Sean, good to see you.
So we're talking about an organization, Planned Parenthood, that is fundamentally, on many different levels here, deceitful, both in their name and to these young girls. How How many of these cases where these girls are 9 years old and they're getting pregnant?
You know what we learned when we were investigating this too? There are about 15 states in the country where you can go in and get an abortion without your parents' knowledge at any age. You could be 10 years old. Your little girl could go in the state of New York, we're one of the states, and have an abortion without you ever finding out.
You can't give aspirin to kids in school without permission.
Without permission.
Now, we have all these cases where there are the older men and these younger women.
Yes.
And this issue
statutory rape.
Which is statutory rape.
Yes.
And yet they go into these facilities to get these abortions, and some of the counselors in these facilities are very well aware of their age. They know what the law is. And what is the advice often given?
It's so sad. They are telling the folks at Planned Parenthood, and Planned Parenthood is kind of brushing it under the rug.
All right. Our own Ainsley Everhart. Ainsley, great report. Thank you very much for being with us. Appreciate your time.
Sure.